Metallica. What do they actually sound like? This is Actually Sounds Like, the show where I figure out what influential music actually sounds like. I'm Jim Lill. I'm a musician in Nashville, and I've made a couple YouTube videos. So the point of this show is the fact that I know a ton about a couple types of music and then not a lot about most types of music, and I gotta catch up. So this is a fun way to do that. I'm gonna go through 10 songs, that's the goal, 10 songs that are super famous from super famous bands and artists. And today we are on Metallica. This is only the second show, so I figured I would explain a little bit about it first. But this show has segments, so we're going to do segments. The first segment is going to be, what the heck does Jim know? What the heck does Jim know? What do I know about Metallica? I know 3 songs. And I like those 3 songs a lot. I think they're really cool. But, of course, I know Enter Sandman. Everyone knows Enter Sandman. I know Fuel, and I know One. But I don't know all of One. I know the do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, boo-dip, boo-dip, boo-dip. And I also know the part that goes boo-do-do-do-do-do, boo-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I remember that from just jamming with my buddies in high school. But I don't think I've actually listened to that song all the way through. I know that they have an album called Master of Puppets because there's a Line 6 patch that comes with their pedals called Pastor of Muppets, which I think is funny. And I know that they had an album called Saint Anger, and I know they had an album called Death Magnetic. The reason I know that is because the audio nerds I went to school with treated that kind of like a meme, because apparently in Saint Anger the snare drum's really bad, like the snare drum just sounds bad or sounds weird or something. And then on Death Magnetic, the super snooty mastering engineer types were like, it has no dynamic range. They got rid of all the dynamic range. The loudness wars have culminated in an album with 1 dB of dynamic range. So throughout the 80s and 90s and 2000s, music kept getting louder and louder and louder, meaning the mastering engineer or mix engineer was pushing limiters, and so they were ramming the level of the music up into a limiter. And Death Magnetic apparently is an example of the most egregious version of that. But maybe it sounds good. I have no idea. It's Metallica, so maybe it's supposed to be that loud. That's one of the things that I want to solve on this show is I've heard people make fun of music and talk about how great or how bad something is. What does it sound like? So I assume we'll get to that, but maybe we won't. Maybe one of Metallica's top 10 songs isn't on that album. Those are things I'm going to find out. As a bit of a special thing for this episode, I'm just going to show you my guitar tone. So this is the amp that I use for my Telly, and I'm just playing my SG through it right now. So the SG is a little bit louder, and so it's going to hit the amp a little bit harder. So that's through my chain, but I truly, genuinely do like Enter Sandman enough that I made a patch to copy the Enter Sandman tone, and so this is the same guitar through the Enter Sandman patch. And it's kind of crazy that guitars can sound that different when you just change amps, basically. And it also goes to show when I normally play, this is a completely acceptable, 100% awesome, ideal. I prefer this guitar sound when I'm playing music that I'd normally play, and then you just switch over to the other thing. It's really hard to go back from this. If I start jamming around, if I start doing that, it's kind of tough to then reset myself and go, oh yeah. So I know that they have some pretty scooped mids, super hyped high end, hyped low end, very, very distorted, multiple gain stages in the amp, kind of thing. And That's what's going to make it extra fun to do this next segment. This is called Reading the Wikipedia. Most people do this first and then shoot the video, pretend that they're an expert, but I'm just going to do it right now. Metallica Wikipedia. Metallica is an American heavy metal band. It was formed in Los Angeles in 1981. I didn't know they were formed that early. By vocalist guitarist James Hetfield and drummer Lars Ulrich. I do know who both those people are, kind of, and has been based in San Francisco for most of its career. The band's fast tempos, instrumentals, and aggressive musicianship made them one of the founding big four bands of thrash metal, alongside Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. Metallica's current lineup comprises founding members and primary songwriters Hetfield and Ulrich, longtime lead guitarist Kirk Hammett, and bassist Robert Trujillo. I also know Kirk Hammett because I've seen like his signature guitars in in guitar centers and stuff. Former members of the band are bassists Ron McGovney, Cliff Burton, I've heard of Cliff Burton, and Jason Newsted, and guitarist Dave Mustaine, I've heard of Dave Mustaine, who formed Megadeth after being fired from Metallica in 1983. Okay, Metallica first found commercial success with the release of its third album, Master of Puppets, 1986, which is often cited as one of the best metal albums of all time. The band's next album, And Justice for All, 1988, gave Metallica its first Grammy Award nomination. Its fifth album, Metallica, 1991, which I think is the Black Album, if I remember right, was a turning point for the band that saw the transition from its thrash metal roots. The album appealed to a more mainstream audience, achieving substantial commercial success and selling more than 16 million copies in the United States to date, making it the best-selling album of the SoundScan era. Wow. After experimenting with different genres and directions in its subsequent releases, Metallica returned to its thrash metal roots with its ninth album, Death Magnetic, 2008, which drew similar praise to that of the band's earlier albums. The band's 11th and most recent album, 72 Seasons, was released in 2023. Okay, so I'm going to go to the discography. Part of the show is getting big chunks. I want to get big chunks. And so if someone says, oh, I love Metallica. Jim, can you please give me a Metallica-type guitar part? In order for me to know what to do, I think that I should listen to their most famous songs. And their most famous songs are, in the case of most bands, it's their singles. So I'm here on the Metallica single section. I'm going to put together, based on this data, what their 10 biggest songs are. And that's going to be using things like certifications, so like RIAA Gold, and things like ARIA 3 times Platinum. Things like that are going to help, and then chart positions are going to help, especially the U.S. charts, because I live in the U.S. and I generally work for people in the U.S. and play music in the U.S. So like Creeping Death didn't chart in the U.S. Master of Puppets reached number 35. I'm more likely to put Master of Puppets in the show. And now there's going to be a big time lapse where I go through this, pick the songs, and then open all the tabs. But for you, it's going to be instant. Check this out. Okay, here's what I got. Master of Puppets, 1, Enter Sandman, The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, Wherever I May Roam, Sad But True, Fuel, Whiskey in the Jar, Saint Anger, and I'm including The Day That Never Comes from Death Magnetic because I'm curious what that whole thing about the, no dynamic range in the master, it's too loud kind of thing is. So that's 11 songs, really it's 10 plus 1. And before I start listening, got to say the pledge of Actually Sounds Like, say it along with me. I pledge to accept everything that I'm about to hear as the truth of what the music actually is, regardless of any words, associations, connotations, and cultural opinions that entered my brain first. Cool, let's dig into some Metallica. Master of Puppets. All right, first impressions, that bass is way different than I thought it was going to be. It's like very mid-rangey. And the drums too, the drums are like super mono and small kind of. Yeah, the drums sound 80s. The bass sounds 80s. But the guitars are huge. Another thing is the guitars are like symmetrical. It's like the same thing left and right. They're very, very tight. And then that's a different tone. So I count 4 guitars so far. Left and right rhythms and then left and right leads. And tons of reverb on the vocal. Yeah, this is very clearly 80s because of that. Oh. So this song goes E to F sharp and then back to E as well. That's not just Enter Sandman. Oh, I do know this song. Master. Yeah. Okay, I do know this song. This is an early winner of the Oh That's That Song award. What key is that now? Yeah, this band was so on the same page with each other. Like, there's no disagreement about what hits are important and like what notes are important. They have it so tightened down arrangement-wise. And the snare is so low-tuned. I wouldn't expect a song this fast to have such kind of like a low-tuned snare drum like that. Oh? Oh! And now we have a clean chorus guitar in what would be, I don't know if you call this a C section or a H section. They've had a lot of stuff going on, so. And then beautiful harmonized overdriven guitar. I think that's neck pickup. Hang on. Ah. So it isn't just a bridge pickup band. It's not all that. The sheer amount of memorization that this takes is wild. And we are 4 minutes 47 seconds into an 8-minute 35-second song. Getting super palm muted. And then just to F sharp for no reason. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, whammy bar! He's using the whole fretboard. I'm gonna have to tune now. Whoa! That's a completely new lick. They haven't done that yet in this song. 6.5 minutes in, they decide, oh yeah, let's do a... And then back to the head. Okay. And they're definitely not to a click. They're speeding up. It started fast. It's getting faster. That. Kind of surprised at how comparatively simple the drums are, because they're, boom, boom, like they're doing some kind of stuff, but it's most of like the fast stuff is just like on the snare, just and then onto the rest of the kit. Oh, and like some reverse stuff. Like record a guitar and then play the tape backward. Okay, sweet. So that's cool. After each song, I'll do a thing. It's going to be a mini segment after each song. What's important? What am I taking away from that? What do I want to remember about Master of Puppets? So if someone ever says, hey, Master of Puppets, right, man? I actually can give some kind of informed decision-making based on that. Okay, symmetrical guitars. That's one thing. For most of the song, the rhythms, it's just like they're doing identical stuff on both sides, as opposed to like the Rolling Stones thing. If you don't know, this show has a Patreon where I do the B-side, and episode 1 of the regular show, the free show, is the Beatles, and then the B-side was Rolling Stones. So I did Rolling Stones, and their guitars are different. They're so different from like the left to the middle to the right that like the parts are just not confusable with each other. The tones are different. Everything's different. But on this, it's like the same. And so it's just filling up my ears with like super tight, super heavy guitar riffs. Another thing that sticks out to me is like the 80s-ness of the drums and the bass. So like the bass has that mid-rangey thing going on, and it's kind of like, plugging along. The drums have so much reverb when it hits the like low tune snare. It's just poo, poo. Even when he goes fast, like the drum itself seems very dry. It seems like a dry snare drum that is then sent to a ton of reverb. So he can go fast, but the individual hits have like a big after effect of boo, poo, boo. So that's kind of a thing. The kick drum wasn't as huge as later Metallica, as what I remember later Metallica being. Like I remember Metallica kick drum being the biggest kick drum in the history of music. And in this one, it was kind of like the drum kit seemed like smaller, like confined to a smaller space right in the center of the mix. And the vocal was double tracked and had a ton of reverb on it, like 38 special amounts of reverb. So of its time, mid 80s. And then musically, like it's in the key of E, and it'll just randomly go to F sharp. It's just like, oh, we're going to another section of the song. So, okay, that next section of the song. And it'll just do that. And then up, back to E. And then, as I kind of alluded to there, like it'll just, if they feel like they want to accent something, let's just do the chord that's like a little bit higher. There's a 1 fret higher, so it's just E, F, E. Oh, F sharp, okay. And then just do that one little like, just half step higher. That thing. I don't know of any music theory that explains what that is or what that means, but because I'm used to like, okay, yeah, like you got like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So you got like a 1 chord, a 4 chord, a 5 chord, maybe a 6 minor, or a 2 minor. If you're crazy, you can do like a flat 7 to a 4, and then back to your 1. Or if you want to go up, you could go 1, and then flat 3, and then 4. And then if you want to get all the way up again and be kind of like rock and minor and whatever, you can go flat 6, flat 7, back to 1. And then Metallica's just like, nah. So we'll see if that is a through line, or if maybe, okay, so maybe like Enter Sandman is actually just throwing back to this like first big hit because they're 5 or 6 years apart or whatever they were. So maybe it's that. I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye out for that. The down section. I'm going to keep an eye on down sections now because I know that I know there's a big intro with a clean guitar. And so in the middle of this song, like halfway through this song, there's a clean guitar. And it's like, not that, this. Everything drops down low, and it's just like a clean guitar with chorus on it. So if I turn off all of this stuff and I'm not like crazy, super heavy Metallica guitar anymore, that's just a guitar. And let me pick a chorus pedal. So if I just go with whatever the first chorus I see is, chorus. Okay, that's too warbly, so less depth, maybe less speed. There's a guitar that's kind of like that sound. It's so polar opposite of the just like dry like that kind of guitar. But then after that, get back to the crazy, super distorted thing, but then flip it to the neck pickup, and then do the solo. Most of what I heard, like in that section at least, was like, okay, just play like arpeggios or scales or whatever. But then to get like the little accents in there, he does like a little hammer-on trill thing of like, it would be like that, that kind of thing. So I'll keep an eye on that too. And it was harmonized. I wonder, okay, so there's like auto harmonizer things. I'm gonna check those out. So twin harmony, and this has like 2 at the same time, so I'm just gonna get rid of the second one and just do like 1 harmony up in E minor. So we got key of E, minor scale, and then scale degree plus third. And this is probably gonna be horrible. I don't know how good this technology is, and I never use this, but let's try like, yeah. Yeah, that sucks. All right, well, what if I put it after the amp? Let's give it a shot. A little bit better. I'm telling you, E minor, I don't know, it's fine. Maybe it's harmonic minor. We'll try harmonic minor. Oh, that's even weirder. So Sorry, I just wanted to try that. So these guys definitely had 2 different guitar tracks, and they custom made all of the harmony parts so that it fit not only the first part but also the chords. And I'm gonna move on to the next song. 1. Okay, so we have war sounds, like machine guns and yelling and stuff. I have the volume all the way up. I imagine it's going to take my head off here in a second. Actually, wait, no. This has a soft intro. There it is. Yep, clean guitar with chorus. Is this stereo? Or is this 2 guitars? I feel like there's 1 guitar that's like center right and then something else center left. No, definitely 2 guitars. I don't think there's any delay on those either. I think it's just like just dry with chorus and reverb. I mean, reverb's not dry, but oh! We have a kick drum now. That's a huge kick drum. Keys this one in. Key B. That chord progression is B to G. And that's an A, B, A, G. Where did that come from? All right. That was just schizophrenic. Throwing like nylon string guitars or something in there. I think we were over 1:30 in before the vocals came in. That's very different from like what I'm used to. I mean, nothing is real but pain now. Hold my breath as I wish for death. Oh, please, God. Those guitars are so distorted. Those guitars are so clean. Going in, I only knew the 2 parts of 1. I knew the beginning that's clean, and I know the I know that part. The verse seems so like normal, and then there's just crazy harmonized clean guitar in there, and then the chorus, that guitar tone is like so saturated. I feel like that's more buzzy. I feel like that's even more distorted than what I have for Enter Sandman and what they had in Master of Puppets. It's another neck pickup thing, but it's just completely clean. Like, I can hear what he's doing, but it's so orchestrated. If I like turn this down, just listen to how much the kick and snare just pop out. Like, it's all you can hear is just kick and snare. I wonder, did they have like sample replacement back then? Were they able to like trigger drum sounds in 1980, 88? 1980, 1989? Like, they were recording the tape. This is the part I know. ATF. I haven't practiced that, like, spaz out your right hand and machine gun. And now they got the double time. Man, Lars is doing stuff on double kick that's... Listen for the kick. He's gonna do it again? There. There's stuff on the double kick where he's going like before a snare drum, so it's... Oh, they got tapping! So he's spamming some speed licks that are actually a little bit familiar to me. Oh! Is this in G now? Yeah. Ah, my hands. Okay, harmony guitars are clearly like very important to to at least this era. The amount of memorization is just insanity. What? Wow. Okay, so if if I got asked by an artist like, "Hey, I got a 30-minute set. We're going on at 5:30 p.m. The headliner goes on at 9:30. We're going to be playing to 20 people. 4 original songs and then 1, and then Master of Puppets." Like, this would take 95% of my preparation time to be able to remember everything that's going on there, because this isn't just blues. It's not just like, oh yeah. Where there's like multiple right answers. There's like more than one thing that you could do, and you can kind of fake your way through it and guess and like just listen to the drummer and just like kind of groove, man. That's not what this is. This is like every note of that song. Maybe not every note. The solos you could probably get away with like just like puking notes up. But like a lot of the harmonized stuff, a lot of the rhythm stuff is just so dead on. It's also the second song where I've heard Lars on drums do this thing where he hits a kick drum and a cymbal at the same time, like while the rest of the band hits one chord, just bam, 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 like that kind of stuff, psst, 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 like that. And so I'm gonna put the guitar down for a second. I just want to explore that. I want to see what sounds right. I want to see if it's just like kick and hat, like kind of a funk drummer would like psst, like kind of bark a hi-hat, or if it's hitting a cymbal and then like choking it. So I'm just gonna switch to the other camera here. Hey, this is my MacBook camera, and I'm going to... Okay, now I have the drums, so... All right, thanks for indulging that. I think it was like choking off the cymbal, like taking a crash cymbal and grabbing it with your hand. I'm just going to listen to the beginning of this when it comes in. Yeah, because you can hear psst, 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 and you can kind of hear it, like the full version of it when the beat comes in. I've seen drummers do that, but it seems more like almost a show-offy thing to be like, you know, psst, 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 and kind of grab the cymbal like that. I don't see a ton of that in the country music that I normally play. The drummer normally isn't like doing that in the studio. Okay, that comes from this, or at least is a thing that is in this, and this is very popular. Next song, Enter Sandman. Here we go. There we go with the clean chorus guitar. And wah pedal. I don't remember hearing wah pedal before this in these, last two songs. I'm sure that true Metallica fans are tired of the song for it being overplayed and that they actually have better stuff deeper on the records or whatever, but this rules. Louder hi-hat than in the other ones. I don't remember it being that loud. Biggest kick drum ever. And the vocals got louder too. So the vocals aren't at all getting lost. They're right up front. I think the bass got some of its mid-range back, the big 80s bass that I mentioned. It was kind of mid-rangey, and then after that, it was less mid-rangey and had more low-end seemingly. This seems like it has both. It's kind of growly, but... This is also more mid-tempo. It's not as fast, which is I guess that's obvious, but when they were described as the big four of thrash metal, and then they went more commercial with this album, I can see what they mean based on Master of Puppets was super fast, and then this is kind of just a mid-tempo song. Okay, no harmonized guitar yet, but definitely that's a wah pedal. Oh, those are some weird notes. Oh, and that's the whammy bar. The wow, 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 wow. Man, everything I've heard so far is so tight, and then the end of that solo kind of doesn't totally land right on the downbeat the way that I figured it would. This part's weird.
Still, baby, don't say a word, and never mind that noise you heard. It's just the beast under your bed.
Okay, so you can clearly hear a low and a high octave, and then some harmony. So there's a lot of vocals in this actually. The vocal doesn't have traditional harmonies in the chorus like a lot of songs do, but Overall, this is way less schizophrenic than the previous two. Like, it's only 5.5 minutes as opposed to 8 minutes. But there isn't a section where then they do double time, or a section where then like nylon string guitars come in. It kind of sticks to its groove. Oh, and they got phaser on the vocal. Like, that's a super reverby one. And then the to never, never land, that has like phaser on it. Or maybe it's flanger. And long fade outs too. Okay, this is far from the most important thing, but I'm just kind of curious. Inserts, and let's just do this. Let's put one of these on there. This is gonna be insane for just a second. Sorry. User. Okay. All right, we're back to normal. Modulation. I'm just gonna put a phaser. This is a phaser on my voice. Put the mix up there. Okay, that's actually not that crazy. This is a different phaser. A different phaser on my voice. Turn the rate up, turn the rate down. Hey, hello. Those actually are way less deluxe phaser. All right, what about this one? Get crazy depth. Okay, crazy depth. Turn the rate down even further. Wave shaped triangle. What about sine wave? Sine wave phaser. Is this getting close? Off to never, never land. Okay, but what about flangers? This is a flanger. I think it was a flanger. This seems a bit more like... Okay, harmonic flanger. We're off to Never Neverland. Cartesian flanger. Whoa, this is the weirdest one so far. That's too fast. I'm going to turn the speed down. Hey, we're off to Never Neverland. Dynamics flanger. Oh, that's... Huh? Yeah, that sounds like Java torture droid kind of stuff. Cool. And then turning it off. So I think that might have been flanger on the vocal. So yeah, it's Enter Sandman. It's super, super, super fun. Like, some of the most fun you can have on guitar. Just turn the gain way, way, way up, scoop the mids way out, and... I should actually learn that song one of these days. I should also learn it on drums, because I think that drum intro, the blue do 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 cat do 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 blue do 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 cat, like whatever he's doing, it's super cool. I like it a lot, and I have no idea how to do that. I can't listen for tom beats very well. Like, for some reason, I just can't instantaneously like wrap my head around what a drummer is doing when they're on the toms like that. But it's very fun. Yeah. All right. The Unforgiven. So I see, I see when pulling up tabs, Enter Sandman was Black Album. This is Black Album. And then Nothing Else Matters is Black Album. And then Wherever I May Roam is Black Album. And then Sad But True is Black Album. I see that the Black Album is overrepresented when just going off of like sales and charts and stuff. 91, 91, 92, 92, 92. I get that. I understand. I know that they have probably way better songs that are more beloved by fans. But, I mean, I'm just going off the data. If someone has Metallica in their head and they're saying stuff about Metallica, I'm just going to go off the most popular stuff. So, The Unforgiven. Okay, just the acoustic guitar. With bells, little marching snare. There's a horn in the beginning. That's all new kind of stuff. Well, weirdly compressed reverby. So this is like the exact same drum sound from Enter Sandman, just big splat, 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 with like super hype snare or hi-hat, and then just little tiny guitars. I don't know if sludgy is an actual term that's used for like certain types of metal drums, but it just feels like just sludging through molasses. Boom, blah, blue, blah. That kick drum is just so huge, it's so cool, and it's so weird over this kind of verse. And I say over, like a kick drum shouldn't be over anything, but here it is. That's where it is. You know, the softer vocal sounds great. I don't associate this with Metallica very much because I'm just used to it being like, like I'm used to that kind of thing. But like the softer stuff is really nice. And that's like a neck pickup, completely clean guitar. You know, there's a lot of this. There's a lot of aspects of this that, if mixed differently, would just be like really good Southern rock. Maybe not that part. When you're in a minor key and you go to that chord, that puts it in a bit more theatrical genre. What is that? Is that a bouzouki? The acoustics that just came in, like an octave mandolin or something? That was completely different. I guess it doesn't credit anyone with like a bazooki or anything, but that acoustic sound was just like out of nowhere. Okay, and then we're fading out. Okay, I want to read the Wikipedia for this album, just for the recording. So, background and recording. At the time of Metallica's recording, the band's songs were written mainly by frontman James Hetfield and drummer Lars Ulrich, with Hetfield being the lyricist. The duo frequently composed together at Ulrich's house in Berkeley, California. Several song ideas and concepts were conceived by other members of the band, lead guitarist Kirk Hammett and bassist Jason Newsted. For instance, Newsted wrote the main riff of My Friend Is Misery, which was originally intended to be an instrumental, one of which had been included on every previous Metallica album. The songs were written in 2 months in the mid-1990. The ideas for some of them were originated during the Damaged Justice tour. Metallica was impressed with Bob Rock's production on Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood and decided to hire him to work on their album, Dr. Feelgood. I know Dr. Feelgood. What else was on this album? Track listing. Okay. TNT, Dr. Feelgood, Slice Your Pie. Kickstart My Heart. When I hear that kick drum, I do kind of think Kickstart My Heart. I'm going to play some of that. Whatever that kick drum is, it's just like, it's a sledgehammer. It's like, it's just hitting something with a sledgehammer. Motley Crue Kickstart. Kickstart My Heart. I know it starts with okay, but when the drums come in. Clearly a different guitar sound, more mid-rangey. But the drums are cannons. That's 4 on the boom, 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 boom. Okay, so snare drum, totally different, but the kick drum has some of that, like, hugeness to it. It's not as huge. It's not as sledgehammer as the Metallica kick drum, but it's interesting to know that Metallica wanted that producer. Was it a producer? Yeah, Bob Rock's production work on Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood, 1989. Initially, the band members were not interested in having Rock produce the album as well, but changed their minds. What? Metallica was impressed with Bob Rock's production work on Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood and decided to hire him. Initially, the band members were not interested in having Rock produce the album, but they changed their minds. Ulrich said, "We felt we still had our best record in us, and Bob Rock could help us make it." Okay. 4 demos for the album were recorded on August 13th, 1990. Enter Sandman, The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, and Wherever I May Roam. And I think that those are all the singles. The lead single, Enter Sandman, was the first song to be written and the last one to receive lyrics. On October 4th, 1990, a demo of Sad But True. No, that one's also on there. I'm looking up at the screen and I see The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, Wherever I May Roam, Sad But True in the tabs that I'm going to get to. In October 1990, Metallica began recording at One-on-One Recording Studios in Los Angeles, California to record the album, and also at Little Mountain Sound Studios in Vancouver, British Columbia for about a week. Additional overdubs and mixing took place at A&M Studios in Hollywood toward the end of the album. The amount of just time spent on recording back when it was all tape and there was so much money and so much budget and they could just kind of hang out and just record and let's go to Vancouver now and record there for a week. Let's go back here and record for a week. That's really crazy considering that now the music is more expedited. Hetfield stated about the recording, "What we really wanted was a live feel." A live feel? In what world is that a live feel? It's the most studio feel ever. It's like the most pristine kick drum and the biggest guitar. That's fine. In the past, Lars and I constructed the rhythm parts without Kirk and Jason. This time I wanted to try playing as a band unit in the studio. It lightens things up and you get more of a vibe. This stuff, it's so tight and meticulous though. Like a band feel, I think of blues guys kind of jamming around, and this is like very, very tight and very, very meticulous. Because it was Rock's first time producing a Metallica album, he had the band make the album in different ways. He asked them to record songs collaboratively rather than individually in separate locations. He also suggested recording tracks live and using harmonic vocals for Hetfield. What does that mean? Recording tracks live and using harmonic vocals for Hetfield. I don't know what that means. Rock was expecting the production to be easy, but had trouble working with the band, leading to frequent engaged arguments with the band members over aspects of the album. Rock wanted Hetfield to write better lyrics and found his experience recording Metallica disappointing. The recording experience was so stressful that Rock briefly swore never to work with the band again. The tension between band and producer was documented in a year and a half in the life of Metallica. Well, that looks like it'd be interesting. About the process of making the Metallica album and the following tour. I'm going to probably have to watch that. And classic albums, Metallica. Since the band was perfectionist, Rock insisted they record as many takes as needed to get the feel they wanted. The most time-consuming part would be listening through the performances, roughly 20 to 30 takes or so, selecting the best parts, then editing down to one cohesive track. Now, I do remember when I was in a class where we actually edited tape, that it was we learned how to like cut the actual acetate like tape itself, and then stitch parts together and then put it back through the tape machine and stuff. I did that once for a few months of my life and then never again. But I do remember it being brought up that there was like a Metallica album, maybe it was this one, where apparently the engineers had like an insane amount of tape edits to get the final thing to be what it was. Maybe it was this one. The drum parts were kept and then everything else was overdubbed afterwards, including the guitars, bass, and vocals. The album was remixed 3 times and it cost $1 million. Oh, man. The troubled production coincided with Ulrich, Hammett, and Newsted divorcing their wives. The troubled production coincided. They're saying it happened at the same time, not that it caused it. I was thinking, like, no way did this recording of this album cause them to divorce their... Okay, it's not saying it did. It just happened at the same time. Hammett said this influenced their playing because they were trying to take those feelings of guilt and failure and channel them into the music to get something positive out of it. I wish that they had more about the actual, like, recording details of it, but I guess not here. Perhaps, though, if I do Metallica Black Album... recording Sound on Sound. Sometimes soundonsound.com has stuff. The inside track Moth into Flame, that might have something on it. Metallica's Black Album, the track by track guide. I don't know if that's going to have it though. Behind the recording of the Black Album. Let's see what this is. Is this just like a guy? Or is this like a behind the scenes video?
His work on Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood album. The only problem is that he didn't want to just mix the album, he wanted to produce it. Mics. For the kick drum, they had the Electro Voice RE20, the Sennheiser MD41, and a Neumann FET47 further out. The snare had a Neumann KM86.
Huh. Okay, so this could be a cool thing. I don't want to just like steal this dude's stuff though, so if you care, then write that down. I might Google that later. Inside track, Moth into Flame, published March 2017. So this isn't going to have... Hang on, I'm just going to Command F and then put Black Album. The electric rhythm guitars, this is for a different album, but it might have some stuff. Where rhythm guitars, a combination of 3 amps and multiple cabinets. Each amp had multiple mics, which went through the Neve sidecar. For his solos, Kirk used an old modified Marshall amp he's used since the Black Album, and that sounds insanely good. That provided 60 to 70% of the solo sound, and in addition, he used a Mesa Boogie and his signature Randall Kirk Hammett. Okay, so they blend sounds to get their big guitar sounds. I'm doing one guitar into one amp model into one custom IR I made, and it's... I think that back then it was harder, and you didn't have so many of the tools. But in the 90s, you did have some, like, I think most of these tools. Yeah, like in some form. You could do IRs and you could do amp modeling. And you had just like humbucker guitars like this. The idea where people like have so many different options, especially guitar players. You have so many different options. You have 3 microphones on a cab, and you have, 4 cabs, and you have 4 amp heads, and you go into the amp heads, and then you have your distortion pedals and stuff. Like, that's a lot of different ways to not commit to what you want to sound like. But it gives you flexibility. So, like, if all you want to do is go up and down with faders, you can blend stuff until you're like, yeah, I like that. But at this point, I'm more of a proponent of like, no, just one thing and then one thing and then one thing. What does that sound like? How do I want it different? Well, let's make those changes. Moving on, still on the Black Album, Nothing Else Matters. Alright, so they're definitely a fan of the clean chorus electric guitar. This is a sound that I've never paid much attention to, but I've heard other people do this, and I always think like, what are you doing? It turns out they might be doing this. These guys are good. Like however many millions of dollars they spent trying to get these sounds, they got them and they played them. It is very creative. And it's done well. Are those strings? Did I hear strings? That sounds like a slide guitar. Exact same kick, exact same snare. Boo. Pa. Boo. Pa. Just trudging along. I wonder. I think that I think that it is out there. All of the isolated tracks for a bunch of these songs, a bunch of these super famous songs. I wonder if you just did all the same stuff and then sample replaced the kick drum and the snare drum with something an Americana band would use, something much softer, and then just see what that sounded like. Maybe I'll have to do that in the future. That could be kind of fun. Yeah, Michael Kamen, orchestral arrangement. So there is an orchestra on here.
Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new.
Those harmonies are really tight. I'm surprised how tight those are, considering this is before pitch correction or anything. I like the way it's building. Wait, where's Kirk Hammett? It just says James Hetfield guitars, vocals, Jason Newsted bass, Lars Ulrich drums. Okay, lead singer and rhythm guitarist James Hetfield wrote the song, credited to Hetfield Ulrich in 1990 while on tour, when Hetfield was bumming out about being away from home. Initially, it was not meant to be released, as he wrote it for himself. Was it just a... Oh yeah, lead guitarist Kirk Hammett does not play on the studio recording, making it one of the few in the whole Metallica repertoire, along with Cliff Burton's Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, in which he does not appear. Hammett stated he did not learn how to play the song until they were well into the tour for the album. So every guitar I hear is just the one guy. And there are a lot of them there. Most of them are clean.
I never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek, and I find it.
Alright, we're 4 minutes, 10 seconds in.
Every day for
We have
us
over 2 minutes left.
open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what they say, never cared for games they play, never cared for what they do, never cared for what they know. And I know, yeah.
Man, okay, that build is sick. Another distorted neck solo. I will say that James's solos are a bit easier to follow than the Kirk ones, because I could just kind of like pick that up and sort of know where it is, and then the Kirk ones that are like that stuff is a bit harder for me to latch onto immediately. I think that's an ebo. That's an ebo. That's just sustaining tone. So like listening to that makes me a bigger James Hetfield fan than I was before, because that is a big arrangement. There's a lot of different parts and pieces going on there that fit together really well, and it's like well executed. Like all the guitar stuff, very well executed. That's not just like a singer. And he's a good singer too. Like stylistically, sometimes, especially when he's like, "It is kind of low, in the bush on here," like he does have that kind of accent thing going on. But then when he gets up high and he starts getting gravelly, it's like not everyone can do that. Like, in a dabba no, like that isn't super easy to do and not sound like you're making fun of someone. Very cool. The gravelly vocal is a huge part of it. They had that like almost classical style guitar, like I'm doing way countryer sounding version of like picking stuff like that. I don't know much classical, but I know that that kind of sound is like in here, and it's in the one intro, and they're choosing notes that are like very like theory intelligent when they're doing the low stuff, and then once it gets to the big just exploding distorted just like then it's just kind of feel and it's just like yeah rock, but they all do agree on what it is. Anyway, Wherever I May Roam. Sitar! For sure the first sitar that I've heard in Metallica. So now we've had sitar in Rolling Stones, we've had sitar in Metallica. I think there was sitar in one of the Beatles at some point. So far I don't recognize this at all, but this is huge. No. that note. Da 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 da. I would never. They use the flat 2 so much. So if you're an E, they'll use the F note like all the time. And the drums are even like simpler than they were in the 80s. Like he did some stuff like in one where it's like doing crazy double bass pedal stuff. What is that? So that's a flat 5 chord? Yeah. This is a B flat in the key of E. Gosh, I really hope I'm never in a situation where I have to fake my way through a Metallica song I don't know. Because it's just not possible. After this song, I'm going to mess around with kick. That'll be my thing. So funny that like all of the textures from the past few songs like are in here. They're all like, okay, the clean guitar and then the doubled unison guitars and then some of the guitar harmonies and stuff. But the note choice in this is just like the way that the sections are divided. And we got wah pedal again. How many toms does he have? Man, after all that, it's a fade out. And it's a 34-second fade out, even beyond this. Things were just different, man. Okay, so I want to talk about the kick drum because the kick drum is so huge, and the kick drum just like, ooh, it just packs such a wallop. I have a kick drum in here. My kick drum's 22 by 18, which I think is just normal, and I have it mic'd with a Shure Beta 52A, which I think is just normal. It's just stuffed in there. And I'm going to mess around with that sound because the sound that just comes out of it is not the sound that I use. I alter it in various ways. I want to see if I just mess with some EQ and I mess with some compression, like what makes it sound like a walloping, slamming kick drum versus something else. Okay, just going to do a simple thing and then mess with it. Okay, I'm just going to solo this kick drum. I'll make it really big like this too. So just soloing out this kick drum. That's with some EQ already on it, and this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing with the EQ. I have 200 hertz, and I'm just taking all of it out. So let me bypass this, and let me bypass this compressor. So this is what's actually getting picked up by the mic. And then when you take all the 200 hertz out, and then put it through the compressor. But that still doesn't wallop quite as hard. So I'm going to bypass these, and I'm just going to add a new EQ, and I'm just going to mess around with some stuff. Okay, we have the EQ. So that's if you boost 1K. Clearly that's not the answer. As it goes up to like, what, 4K? Then we get the beater sound. Okay, down here at 200, 300 hertz, that's like the kind of least flattering. And then I can't go lower than that with that band, so let's take that out. Let's do this one. Okay, and then down there you get more like the force. So in the spirit of Metallica, what if I do the most exaggerated thing ever and I just take 200 hertz and I take that all the way out, and then I take 4 kilohertz and I take that all the way up, and then I take, let's do 45 hertz and then take that all the way up. And I'm not even messing with like the bandwidths or whatever. I just want to hear. Like that's almost there. That's kind of what it is. Just for fun, let's do the opposite. Let's do the worst sounding kick drum ever. Yeah, those mid-range frequencies aren't the most flattering. This is almost like Beatles kind of, you just have the whole drum kit mic'd with one mic far away and the kick ends up sounding like that. But then if you reverse all of those decisions and you're like, no, lows, highs, no mids. That's pretty much it. And then for compression, normally I use the BF76. What if I just do a limiter? What if I just kill it with like an L1? I normally just use plugins made in the 90s. Okay, so L1 and just... Okay, that doesn't make it better. That actually is too distorty. That's actually not what I'm looking for. It just kind of farts out. I don't want it farting out. So let's actually do the slightly more subtle 4-to-1 attack and release at maximum. And then hear what that sounds like in the context. I'm going to mute the toms because they're just bleed. It's not as huge. So, like, let's just wallop it again. Let's just do another one. That's kind of hilarious. Wow. So that is 2 rounds of the most egregious possible EQ change. And it's like getting in the ballpark of like that clickiness, that poke through kind of thing. Huh. But I'm not hearing as much low end. So let's actually put more low end. This is a third EQ and its job is just more lows. Yeah, that's that's crazy. That's so crazy. So we have hugest EQ move possible, hugest EQ move possible, and then even more bass. Just give me 12 more dB of like low end under 100 hertz. And then send it into a compressor so that it like has a little bit of controlled dynamic to it. Wow. I'm not saying that if I had like isolated tracks that I could A-B them and they'd be indistinguishable, but just like as far as getting in the ballpark, because without it, if it's just this, that's what's recorded. And then you put those on EQ, 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 compressor. Cool. Cool. Sad but true. I think every song has had that E to F thing in it. I guess that wasn't an E. This one's a drop D. 54 seconds before vocals.
I'm the one who takes you there. Hey, I'm your life. I'm the one who cares. They betray. I'm your only true friend now. They'll betray. I'm forever there. I'm your dream. Make you real. I'm your eyes when you.
Are those reverby high guitars on the left and right?
When you can't feel.
Yeah, this is just like groovy, just straight riffs. Nothing in here has been super hard so far.
You're my mask, you're my cover, my shelter. You're my mask, you're the one who's blamed. Do my dirty work, scapegoat. Do my deeds, but you're the one who's shamed. I'm your dream, make you real. I'm your eyes when you must steal. I'm your pain when you can't feel. Sad but true. I'm your dream, mind astray.
I'm going to the Wikipedia and I'm just going to look at it.
I'm your pain while you repay. You know it's sad but true.
All right.
Sad but true.
Fifth and final single from the self-titled album. I told them that on Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood, which I produced in Metallica Love, that the band had tuned down to D. Metallica tuned down to D, and that's when the riff really became huge. It was this force that you just couldn't stop, no matter what. Yeah, the guy says, suddenly I realized that every song, including this one, was in the key of E, so yeah. Oh, and there's a baritone guitar. Oh, what? You can't do that in D. Oh, like they might have tuned their whole guitar down to D, not just drop D. Some of the stuff in there seemed like it would be drop D, but then there was something they did where it was like... And with that drone string, it has to be the whole guitar tuned down. I'm cheating right now, and I'm using something called polycapo. So like, if I mute this guitar, you'll hear like I'm clearly in the key of E, but then this pitches it down, and it does a pretty good job. Alright, so this album is like way slower and sludgier than the first two songs that I listened to, Master of Puppets and one that had like the much faster sections to them. Cool. And then that was the final single from this. After that, it goes to a different album, Fuel, on Reload.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Wow, the guitars are actually smaller. And the kick drum's smaller. Nah, it's still pretty big. Is it the snare drum I'm hearing then? This actually feels like it's not as huge as Black Album. I think the snare and the reverb on the snare are almost more 80s than they were on the Black Album. That's a cool double kick pattern though. I mean, it's a simple pattern, it's just do all of the notes, but very satisfying. I didn't notice that they bent that, so... Wait. So they kind of bend that. I also didn't realize that this is a half step down. is a very funny vocal choice. Ooh, yeah. This one definitely feels more commercial as far as the arrangement goes because it never like changes to a completely different idea. Like it's the same key and it's the same speed. They'll do halftime, and then it mostly has like A section, B section, a bridge, a solo. Man, that guitar is almost country. I wonder if that was a Telecaster. Something about it. I'm gonna rewind that. Just this guitar solo. Like that's way less heavy a tone than they had previously. They were 2.5 step down, so forgive me for that. But like that little bend on the G, on the second fret of the G, that's like such a country thing. I have to actually like turn down the... Weird to hear that in a Metallica song. I never paid attention to that solo before. I didn't know that was in there. That's cool though. Yeah, it's super fun. I'm more familiar with that song than a lot of them. Like I've just heard it more in the background of my life. I'm gonna go back to like their first song and just listen to the amount of reverb on the vocal going from 1986 to 1997. Master of Puppets, and then I'm just gonna skip. Like there's so much effect happening on that vocal, and then compared to like this one. And also the kick drum like that's so funny that like now it is what I remember it being. Just like machine gun right up there, and then in this one the drum kit sounds like it's farther away. You know, Whiskey in the Jar. I've heard of this before. I've seen this. I've seen that song title before. Could not conjure what this means. Yeah, I would buy this as late 90s. This is weird, right? Metallica fans? Like, I'm not alone in thinking this is so different and weird and like... It's like Metallica does 90s country. She's got it all, my heart, my soul, my wishes.
I took all of his money, and it was a pretty penny. I took all
It's just like major key. I don't think we've just had like a major key Metallica song so far. Wait, that's auto-tune. That is 90s auto-tune. Listen to how it grabs the pitches on the lead vocal. Man, this is weird. This is real weird. It's just like a major key song, but then it's like someone impersonating Metallica doing a country song. Hang on, I'm just gonna. I think I got the idea of this. The guitars aren't quite as big, and the drums aren't. Maybe the kick drum is approaching like that sound. It's not quite as huge and stuff, and then the arrangement isn't quite as tight because it's not relying on like full band hits and like unison licks and stuff. It's just kind of like playing a Nashville chart. Weird. It's weird to hear those sound so kind of like not as flattering on this kind of song versus it's the same guys and they're doing like a lot of the same stuff on the other songs that are actually meant to be like metal songs. I'm going to skip ahead, but I don't want to skip because in case something crazy happens. So I'm going to do something probably annoying for you, but it'll be over soon. Because it's just repeating that same form. And that's one guitar doing like automatic guitar harmony. That's like a Boss harmonizer or something. I got the 2X on. Okay, do they go somewhere else? Kinda, yeah. Those are actual real guitar harmonies. Just a down third verse. It's just, oh, it's so Nashville. Except he goes, yeah! What are these lyrics? I can't tell what he's saying. Is he saying green gabba dooba vadabo, mix a daddy-o, whiskey in the jarro? Is that it? Hang on. Oh, because it's a traditional Irish song. Originally by Thin Lizzy? Okay, I'm going to show you guys. This is the search result. Irish songs lyric whiskey in the jar. And it's just a collection of Irish songs. But then when I click the Metallica version, it says originally by Thin Lizzy. So I gotta figure this out. So whiskey in the jar, Metallica, Wikipedia. Whiskey in the Jar is an Irish folk song For the Thin Lizzy album, see Whiskey in the Jar album. So it's a traditional song set in southern mountains of Ireland, often with specific mentions of counties Cork and Kerry. Okay. History, exact origins are unknown, but Alan Lomax suggests the song originated in the 17th century, and that John Gay's 1728 The Beggar's Opera was inspired by Gay hearing an Irish ballad monger singing Whiskey in the Jar. So that is very, 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 very old. Variations. Whiskey in the Jar is sung with many variants on locations and names, including a version by Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead, with mandolinist David Grisman, a version by the Dubliners, which is often sung in Irish traditional music settings around the world, a rock version sung by Thin Lizzy, and a heavy metal version inspired by the Thin Lizzy version by Metallica. So, let's hear the Thin Lizzy version. Thin Lizzy, Whiskey in the Jar. So this was 1972. And it sounds 1972. It almost sounds 60s. Like that guitar was plugged into the console with a distortion pedal or something.
As I was going over the Cork and Kerry mountains, I saw Captain Pharaoh and his money he was counting.
I think there's phaser on these things, but whether or not there is, weirdest EQ choices ever. Like, remember when I was doing that kick drum stuff and I was like, oh yeah, if you scoop the mids out and then add a ton of low end and a ton of high end, it has that big, giant sound. This is like the opposite of that. This is like, give me all the 500 hertz that you can spare, sir.
I said, stand over your liver, or the devil, he may take you. Rush your ring, dama-doo-dama-da.
Yeah, that's the words. I mean, I obviously didn't have the words correct when I was trying to just recite them back, but Metallica did do the words. It sounds like Whiskey in the Jar. Lyrics, let me go back. Lyrics Metallica. Mush a ring, dumma-doo, dumma-da. Whack for my daddy-o, whack for my daddy-o. There's whiskey in the jarro. Ba, widda ba, da bang, diggy, diggy. Diggy said the boogie, set up, jumped the boogie. This is Saint Anger, so listen for the snare. Well, that's the lowest guitar we've had so far. Baritone or bass 6. I brought my bass 6. I want to see if I can find it on here. So we're in the key of C. That is an offensive snare drum. Whoa! For some reason, this sounds like Chili Peppers to me. The kick drum sorry, this is a single coil guitar and I have it going through way too much distortion, but sorry, it's really, really fun to take a bass 6 and make it super distorted, and then just riff around on it because it's so low. Okay. So the kick drum, when I added all that bass, when I added all the EQ, like, it makes the initial hit sound great, but then any like ring or any like other sounds or something, they're also getting that EQ, like anything picked up by that microphone. And so if you don't have the gate set right, I didn't even have a gate on it, but like if you're really producing the music and you want to have it be super tight and big, then oftentimes they'll put like a noise gate. So once it drops to a certain like low volume, it just shuts it off so that you don't get that extra ring. And I can like hear in the kick drum, in the full mix in this verse, like there's just other stuff that's getting kind of picked up by that kick mic. Like, do you hear the beat? Like there's rattle or something when the kick hits. And I'm not even talking about the snare drum. The snare drum is pretty ringy and kind of crazy. I think up till now, so snare drums can have like different amounts of ringiness to them based on how dead and down they are or what kind of head you use. That's a very high-tuned snare drum. I have 2 snare drums. One of them is like wide open and ringy, and you're just gonna hear it through the talk mic, but bow, it rings out. The other one is like taped down, and so it's just a papery little like marching kind of pop. So a lot of the drums up till now have been pretty dry, and then they send them to reverb to get the extra like body and kind of sustain to it. This one is a straight up ringy snare drum, like a 1-ply head, no dampening kind of snare drum, tuned up super, super tight and high. And it's just ringy as crap. So maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe there's also like EQ choices that are weird. It's definitely different, but it isn't. I don't know. I'm going to keep listening.
You flush it out, you flush it out. Tango around my neck. You flush it out, you flush it out. He never gets respect. You flush it out, you flush it out. Tango around my neck. You flush it out, you flush it out. He never gets respect.
I mean, really, I'm maybe more bothered by the kick drum than the snare drum. And then the flush it out, like that vocal is probably mixed a little too high and too dry, or too full range for like what a backing vocal normally is. Let's just do like a macro. Let's just do an autocorrect. Whenever you hear me say should, just know that I mean like normally, or I have seen more cases of this in my life, because obviously this is Metallica. I'm accepting that they're Metallica. In general, if there is a second vocal that's like repeating angry things, that's the vocal that'll be like high passed up here and maybe like even low passed a little bit. And it'll be like the more narrow bandwidth version of it. And then maybe even after that, it'll like go into a distortion. Flush it out! Flush it out! Instead of like the full range, kind of like just duplicate of the lead vocal thing. And I feel like Metallica maybe even did that in some of the other songs that we've listened to so far. And here's another thing. The lead vocal sounds like it doesn't have any reverb on it, or at least way less reverb. It's so dry. It is definitely dry in comparison to anything that we've heard so far. If you go back to the 80s songs, like the vocal is just coated in this big, like washy reverb. And then this sounds, very early 2000s people using Pro Tools and like just, oh yeah, we have a vocal and it's dry and it's on the track. And so you just hit play. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. And it's just dry. It's dry. Which I prefer. Maybe not in this style of music, but generally I prefer a little bit less reverb. But even this is a bit naked. Okay, right there in that section, when the ring is like as loud as the actual hit, that seems I can understand that. I can understand why that would get on people's nerves. So I'm gonna do. Let's see here. What did I? Oh, that was a bit of a slower thing when I did this. I'm just gonna record a snare hit. I'm just gonna do snare one and record it. Hang on. Okay, I got 4 snare hits here. I'm gonna take the reverb off and I'm just gonna have just the snare. And I believe I have plugins on here already, and I do, so I'm actually gonna get rid of these, and it's just, this is what it is. Now I'm curious what happens if I compress the crap out of it. How much do I have to compress it? This is with the input all the way on a BF76. Okay, you hear how that ring kind of comes up? Like, without it, it's just pop, pop, pop. And you hear some ring, but then with that compressor, it brings up the level of that ring. Now I'm gonna EQ it. I'm gonna EQ it into that compressor, and I'm just gonna see, like, where can I bring that ring out? I'm gonna search for it with a really narrow Q. And then it sounds like a little too much low end, so I'll high pass it. Cool. So that's a really obnoxious kind of ringy snare sound, but it's still not enough. So I'm going to add another compressor. Not quite so much. Man, maybe it's a limiter. Maybe I want to add a limiter. And do something narrow to take out some low mid. Okay, so this is a super obnoxious snare drum sound, and I'm just gonna record like a drum beat, and I just want to hear what it sounds like. Oops, forgot to turn off the talk mic. Okay, I recorded this. This is with crazy Saint Anger style snare EQ. Yeah, it's a bit nuts. This is without any EQ. And then this is without those compressors. Yeah, I don't know if it was action or inaction that led to that big ringy snare sound. Like, I don't know if it just accidentally automatically happened that way or if they actually added stuff, but it is kind of interesting hearing. All right, I think I got an idea of what Saint Anger is, and then I'm going to move on to sampling The Day That Never Comes. I just want to hear the Death Magnetic thing about the mastering and see if it's really egregious and if I can really hear some kind of reduced quality due to the fact that it's mastered so hot. So far it sounds fine, but let's hear when it gets super big. I think the kick sounds good, guitars are good. Snare is pretty distorty. I don't know if I prefer this snare or Saint Anger's snare. This clean chorus guitar sounds good. Like, I can hear what they're talking about. It's hitting a limiter and it's distorting, like when the drum gets big, when the band gets big. Like, really, it's just the snare is the only thing that's bugging me about it, though. The cymbals are kind of distorting a bit. Are they? They're pretty crispy.
Born to push you around. Better just stay down. You pull away.
I mean, I mostly just am hearing the drums kind of distorting. Everything else seems fine. The vocals are great. They're smooth. Guitars are smooth. Bass is smooth.
Tend to block your eyes. Just keep them closed. Keep praying. Just keep waiting. Waiting for the one.
Okay, no, this is insane. The mastering is insane on this. Okay, I'm sorry.
The day that never comes.
The whole thing is distorted. I'm sorry, audio professors. Look, okay, so I'm recording a podcast, and I'm trying to make the levels hot, and I know that in the first couple episodes, and probably almost certainly in this episode, there are times where my voice, I'm sure, is distorting a bit because it's hitting the limiter harder than it probably should. This podcast, however, doesn't cost $1 million to make. Oh, man. Yeah, I see what they mean. Because this is definitely overcooked. It's definitely hitting a limiter, and it's just distorting. And there's nothing after the distortion to roll it off or make it seem no, it's like a guitar amp, man. It's like an old tape machine. It's the big thing is where does the distortion happen? What EQ is after that can kind of make it a bit more palatable. And in this one, if it's just hitting digital, there's nothing after that. It's just hitting the all one sample. That is so crispy. It's so just deep fried. Wow. Cool. Yep. All right. I hear it. So this was a drum beat I did earlier. So did I get rid of that? No. I'm going to put the crazy kick EQ on this again. Okay, cool. So I have crazy kick EQ on here. And then I'm going to go to the master bus. And I'm going to change the limiter on it. So if I just hit the threshold all the way down as low as it'll go, then I'm pretty sure that it will do the same thing that St. Anger did, or that Death Magnetic did here. It just fuzzes out. If I make the release shorter, it's going to do it even more, I bet. Hang on. Yeah, and what if I turn the snare up? Where's my snare at right now? +5. I'm going to... Let me just duplicate this compressor and then turn it up and... Yeah. What a mess. Cool. I know what they mean now. And at least for those songs, that's what Metallica sounds like. We had the fast thrash stuff in the 80s. We had the groove stuff in the 90s. We had the weird whiskey in the jar country sounding thing, country Metallica. St. Anger with the weird snare and the weird kick. The Day That Never Comes with the weird mastering. Okay, so overall, having done this, what takeaways do I have about how I would sound like Metallica if someone asked me to? What are some of the things that stick out about what Metallica actually sounds like? Heavy. That's the first thing. Super heavy. Big distorted guitars. In all of them, they had big stereo distorted guitars. That was definitely a thing in all of those things. Very grindy vocals. Usually double tracked. I think maybe always double tracked. So sing the part and then sing the same part again and have both those playing together. That was at least in most of those. Having that accent and that grit. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Yeah. It's fun to do that impression, but they do it on a level where it's it's sincere. So hopefully some sincerity would go along with that kind of like big gritty accent kind of thing. In addition to that, lots of reverb if they wanted to do some of the more 80s and into the 90s kind of stuff. And then Saint Anger and Day That Never Comes, that reverb kind of like got turned down a little bit. And then there's the clean sections of the song where it's just a clean guitar. I'm going to guess direct. It might not have been direct. It might have been like, oh no, this is the clean channel of the Mesa Boogie. It might have been that. But it was very, very just super clean, and then it had chorus on it. I don't think I ever heard a clean electric guitar that was like the star of the show and it didn't have chorus on it. So you know what? I'm going to actually like look at that because this is so popular that I just know that this has to be a thing. Metallica chorus pedal. Does it exist? What did they use? What did they use? Chorus pedal for Metallica / Pantera cleans. Let's see. I've played guitar most of my life, but I've literally never touched a chorus pedal. I'm looking for... Okay, whatever. TC makes a DC2 called the Third Dimension that's significantly cheaper, but I want to know... what they used. Who says what they used? The CE one, which costs a ton. It literally is the chorus circuit of the JC. All right, well, let me see. Metallica CE1. Is this what they used? CE1 pedal? I don't know that this is getting enough hits for me to be confident that this is what Metallica used. So, what chorus effect did Metallica use? All right, top 12 pedals for Metallica tone. If it's someone's opinion, then I'm going to be a little bit annoyed. But if it's actually like saying what they used, then I'll be happy and I'll know. The top 12 pedals for Metallica tone. When was this written? When was it written? 2025? My ears are out for something that sounds ChatGPT-ish and noise suppressor, tube screamer, Bonsai Overdrive. Bonsai Overdrive, the pedal that was made in like 2012 is what they used? Yeah, right. Come on. That article's not it. Let's talk about chorus. Okay, Command F, Metallica. And what did they use? The power of chorus, power of metal. Yeah, it doesn't say. Okay. What about this? James Hetfield's gear on Master of Puppets. Command F, chorus. Roland JC120 Jazz Chorus. The other amp that appeared on Master of Puppets is the Roland JC120. This 212 combo amp was used for all the clean parts, but had been part of Hetfield's studio rig since the Ride the Lightning album. The amp had a built-in chorus effect which was utilized for many clean tones across Metallica's catalog of work. The amp was EQ'd in a similar manner to the overdriven amps with a large mid-scoop and boosted lows and highs. This produced a slightly hollow sound that you could hear on the tracks such as Master of Puppets and Welcome Home Sanitarium. Okay, so Roland JC120 Jazz Chorus. That is an amp that I have never felt comfortable on in my entire life. But apparently that's it. Apparently that's what the thing is. Maybe that's why that's famous. Maybe in part that is why that's famous. So the Roland Jazz Chorus is a 212 amp, and it looks like this, and it's solid state, and I don't even know if you can distort it. Maybe you can distort it. And my impression is that it's very faithful with the dynamics that you give it. It doesn't do you any favors. But if he played through this, it means he did go through speakers, and speakers, even these speakers, do have some kind of low-pass behavior, and so it wasn't the same as plugging in direct. So it's not a direct sound. It's just a very, very clean sound with chorus. So that's good to know. And then when it comes to the kick drum, except for on Master of Puppets, all of the rest of them had this huge, enormous kick drum that I'm guessing is a product of a ton of EQ and some pretty aggressive compression, I'm guessing, to keep it like just do, 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 do. Unless they were using some kind of sample triggering, because those kick drums, especially like the double kick patterns of like it was just it was a machine gun. And you can get that with like triggering samples because every sample is going to be like pristine, but definitely a big old scoop at like 200 hertz and then just tons of bass and then just like tons of like upper mid range where the beater hits. And that's Metallica. On to the next segment, which is one piece of gear. One piece of gear. Okay, so every episode I'm going to go through one piece of gear that I own and just kind of show it off because I make YouTube videos about gear a lot of the time. And so people will be interested in gear. I like gear. I don't want my gear necessarily to be the focus of anything that I'm doing here. But once an episode, I'm just going to keep it in this little box. I'm going to show you something. And so all episode, I played this. And this is my SG. So this is my humbucker guitar. I think it's the only guitar that I have with like a normal humbucker in the bridge. So this is a Gibson SG 61 reissue. When I was looking for a humbucker guitar, I asked my favorite guitar player what he used. And he said that he used one of these. Specifically, he used one of these on a song that I really like called Come a Little Closer by Dierks Bentley. And it has this very cool like lead guitar like signature thing, very cool melody, played really well. And most people thought he used like a Gretsch on it or something, but it turns out it was one of these. And so I looked around. The problem with all of these is they're red. Like all of the 61 reissues, maybe not all of them, but most of them are red or black up until 10 years ago, and then they started releasing them in whatever color. But I was looking for like a used one, and most of them are just red. A couple of them are black. I would have been okay with black. But then I saw this one come up, and it's sapphire blue. And when I see something that's blue like this, and it's kind of like a interesting color, I thought like, yeah, I think that's the one. So I saved up and got it. I actually sold probably a cooler guitar to get this, but I do like having this. So that's what I use today is Gibson specs, all stock, 61 reissue, SG from 2004. Next segment, one thing I think. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and it's cool to get to know the hosts, but I get kind of bummed out whenever they start running their mouth about stuff that I kind of know a little bit about, and I realize they don't know anything about that. Or maybe it's just something that's kind of divisive in general. And I think like, oh no, this entire time you're that kind of guy. So I'm going to be intentional about how I do that. And I'm not going to pollute the whole podcast with my dumb takes and ideas and opinions. But once per episode, I'll give you a little something. And then maybe over the course of the whole series, you'll find out, is Jim gay? Did he join ICE? I think that NASCAR is cool. I think it's cool. And it's cool specifically because I grew up in a family with a dad that watched NASCAR. It's indefensible. There's so much that is like completely wrong about it. And I understand how if you're new to it, you wouldn't enjoy watching cars go in circles. But a couple years ago, I got back into it for whatever reason. It just hit the spot. So that's one thing I think. I'm a casual fan of motorsports, and I think it's fun. And when it's on the TV, I feel comfy, even though I don't actually know anything about cars or engines. And this year, I will especially be rooting for Roger Carruth in the number 88 Junior Motorsports Chevy in the O'Reilly Series. And in addition to that, I like Tyler Reddick in the Cup Series. He's won 4 so far. I like Ryan Blaney a lot. I think that Bubba's cool. And there's a few other guys that I'll root for sometimes too. Oh, Carson Hocevar. He's from Michigan. He's also a Michigan State fan. I'm plugging the B-side now. So what's the B-side? The B-side is the Patreon. Every time I do one of these, there's one for free, like this one, that's just available anywhere, and then one that'll be on my Patreon. And I try to like pair up artists. So the first ones that I did is I did the Beatles, but then for the B-side, I did the Rolling Stones. For this one, I did Metallica, and for the B-side, I'm going to do Pantera. Because I know that Dimebag Darrell and his guitar playing is like a big, heavy groove metal thing. And among all of my friends in high school that were super into like heavy music, it was like Metallica and Pantera. And they have way different sounds. They're both heavy, but like the guitar tones are so different. Like the frequency, the like main focus of it on Dimebag Darrell and Pantera. I only know the song Walk. But like that intro, it is a whole different thing. I want to dive deeper into that. I want to find out if that's just that song or if it's all their songs. So that's going to be fun. And you can go to patreon.com/actuallysoundslike to get all of those episodes. Until then, I'll catch you next time.